Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of a late start because I got caught up talking about the Christmas schedule with Mama this morning, and I wanted to make sure that we were able to do a bunch this week as far as when we can do it. So we will be doing a lot of video stuff this week. We will be doing a lot of technical analysis for you guys because I think we need to understand if this is actually going to give us some kind of Christmas rally. Now, what we're paying attention to early on here is still going to be if this can come down to make that 30-minute divergence. I think that will be the best setup that we could see. Obviously, we want to treat this, if it crosses down, it has bad for the SPY, but we want to understand how these things move. We have a daily expected move here, we have a buy zone in here, and Christmas time is usually where people get really, really positive. So if this curls down, yeah, we want to treat it like bad. Could be a reversal signal. If the 2-hour is able to curl up, though, hey, we might get that bounce now. We got to be open to lower highs because the weekly expected move sits right at the breakdown area. So that'll be very good. We can look at the Qs. We're paying attention to a similar thing, right? Similar thing for the time being. We can see that the gap in this area could be a great breakdown area with some resistances in there. And, ooh, bad stuff. But the 30-minute, if that wants to turn around, looks pretty controlled at this moment. So look if we can take back the 5. That would push us into a positive trend for a little bit. We'll see if that'll hold. But we notice that if this curled down, people would see it as very, very bad, and then maybe it ends up being some kind of trap. That's what we're going to pay attention to. But okay, I think we got through the main points here. That's really all we have to watch, I think, for this moment in time today. 6M candle on GM at the open. Okay, GME, sorry. We can look at GME, AMC, and all that good stuff. The thing is, I want to tell you guys, I have started my next test for the short seller theory that I'm working on, the short sale volume theory that I'm working on. I am doing that as of Friday. I bought that for FFIE. So my short seller theory is starting to prove itself sometimes here. Now, this is a big fade as of right now. So I want to see if this is going to be a bigger pop than this. But this pop does give me some inclination that, hey, I can actually pay attention to those things a little bit more. So I think that's awesome. SEC filings, I do pay attention to SEC filings. You can see what big players are doing. We actually pulled up SEC filings to show how, if you go look at NVIDIA, or at least I think it was what, we looked at that in October, I want to say, and that's when everyone was, you know, tooting NVIDIA's horn real big towards October. I believe it was October. So it's around these areas here that we just pulled up the SEC filings and showed how every insider was just selling and selling. There was not one buy order in the SEC filing. That's actually a big deal. You guys need to pay attention to that when it comes to Palantir. Palantir, if you're going to look at SEC filings, I highly encourage you go look at the SEC filings for Palantir and pay attention to insider trades, because insiders have been selling since this break right here. We've seen insider selling, which means I think a lot of retail might be on the hook here for something like Palantir. I'm not against Palantir by any means. I'm just saying, hey, why are they selling a ton of stock right now? You have 0 buys that, as far as insiders came in, I believe it's 0 buys and like millions and millions, obviously, dollars of selling. So we'll see what happens with this. But for now, the daily looks like it does need to back off. You might get some kind of double top today. We'll see how that happens. You got Wolfie popping off. We were paying attention to that because if that daily crosses up, guys, this is a good signal. So I will be paying attention to the Wolfie. Because that is, ooh, divergence leading into a lower high. We like that one. But yeah, FFIE was the one that on Friday triggered my short sale theory. And I think at one point in the pre-market, I believe that was up by 20%, which is pretty damn good. I want to see something bigger than that. I want to see a rip. I want to see an absolute rip. So I think you're right to be paying attention to GME, because the last time that this ripped, look at this. It's May 14th, May 13th, I believe, was when this started to rip. And GME back in the day, what was it? It was May 13th, okay, that you started to rip. So these things do have the potential to pop this week, as long as we can keep good signals. The 30-minute is not curling down, right? That is one thing we were paying attention to over the weekend on Sunday's video. The 30-minute is not pulling back down as of right now. It is not crossing. So that's very, very good. AMC looks like it wants to cross, right? But it is holding. I am late today. I am late. I was late because me and my wife were just having a very fun conversation this morning about our plans for 2025. Does anyone else do that with their family or your spouse or something? We were planning out our business moves for 2025. Wonder if anyone else does that. Yeah, AMC a little bit of a struggle. DJT more of a struggle, which actually had some very good weakness signals. Oh, don't even tell me AMD is popping now. Ah, AMD is going to pop now. Look at that. See, we're paying attention to that 2-hour divergence. That means the daily scale can start to turn up here. So is NVIDIA seeing positivity? Yes, it is, with a gap up. So we're paying attention. This is where, look at that. Look at that wick. Look at that wick. It's right where you kind of want it to be. It's right in the vicinity of that connection between the two most recent highs. So we'll see if that's able to hold or if we're going to back off from here. 2-hour curls down, that's what we're looking for to the downside. Daily curl up, that's what we're looking for the swing trade to potentially get a good move. You have to be aware, though. You're going to have to see massive moves for this market to go back on the bull side. So you're going to need a Christmas damn rally, okay? So you're going to need, that's why I want this to build that stronger base on that 30-minute, because you're going to need a big move here, because you really have to take back 600, and so you're pretty much saying, hey, I have to take this weekly expected move and hold it. Most likely by the end of the week to really get back on the bull side. If not, maybe we can consolidate for a longer period of time, then we can do it later on. But by that point, you might be worried about crossing down on the weekly chart on the weekly through this channel. Yeah, AMD has been bashed by everyone. I'm not saying AMD doesn't have good runs sometimes. I'm saying there's too many times where you have to manage the trade. I mean, just look at this bottom here. The last one that was really good was this one. Do you guys remember this one when we pointed out this? But notice the other ones. It's this. Oh, that's a good signal. It's just a mess, right? This was a little bit of a mess. But if you were able to, you know, hold through that and then say, okay, the daily is able to confirm up again, then you felt confident. So these are the signals that ended up playing out very well, but it was just the divergence on the RSI. I think it's a little 30-minute divergence there. It's probably pretty extended. And then it's these signals that keep not playing out. Now that's Jerome Powell, unfortunate. Or wait, no, this was Jerome Powell. But it's like, oh, great signal, doesn't play out. Oh, great signal. Oh, it's going to go. Nope, doesn't play out. And then you get another good signal and it goes, okay, I'm going to play out. So do you see how it's like 1, 2, 3 with this low here, then 4, and you're like, okay, awesome. But that means I had to manage a trade 3 times. And so that's more of like a, this one is not seeing the buying pressure that you would like to see. Now, when it comes in, you might see it come in pretty strong, but we'll see. I think we have an opportunity to get to this zone. Baby girl is crying. VIX 9-day popping. Let's go check on volatility real quick this morning. Okay, so nothing there. When we want to be aware, what we want to be aware of, not when, what we want to be aware of is 1, this looks flaggy, but 2, if the 2-hour crosses up. If the 2-hour crosses up, that means volatility is coming in pretty strong. Right now, you do have a 30-minute that is going up towards the center line, so this would lean us towards, hey, this is some kind of flagging, some controlled behavior in here. Most likely to drop down again. We'll watch out for divergences and things like that. But so 2-hour up, kind of bad for the market. 30-minute down, good for the market. So let's go into that 30-minute and just stare at this, because this would be a great setup. Might even look at some stuff for some potential setups here. I gotta check something real quick. A little bit behind right now. Just a little bit. We planned stuff for like, we talked for like an hour and a half this morning, which is nice, but just put me back a little bit. VIX starting to turn up. Yeah, I'll keep my eye on it. I do have my other charts up on the other screen. All right, we're gonna do this, go this. Just gonna look for some stuff. Okay, I'm gonna look at the charts on my other screen real quick while this drop is happening to see if any of the stocks we were paying attention to could have some good setups. Okay. And you're going to see my mouse move across because I started to use the app for TradingView. If you want to get used in TradingView, the link in the description I think I have a TradingView link. I need to make sure that's up there. I think you can get 15 bucks off. So we're seeing this dip down. Looks like we're rejecting off of the 5. Look how we react to the 5. We're going to put this up in the course today. Like, I'm going to get this done today. We're going to get this up on the course so that people can know about how to put the 5-day on these smaller charts and how to really pay attention to it, why we think having a 5-day is an overall good thing. Okay, let me go look through. Let's do it. No, I still want a 30-minute chart. I just want to shrink it. All right, so I'm going to look through for any potential setups. Use IWM, DIA. DIA looks very close to confirming this, just so you are aware. DIA really looks like it wants to confirm this soon. But we're paying attention to the right stuff. Okay, TLT could have a potential setup soon, actually. So if we go look at TLT, we're just looking at the shape of these things. And when everything has the same shape, it's kind of like, which one do I get to pick, you know? Which one do I take? And so we'll look for this to come down to lower levels. TLT might be the riskier one, in my opinion, just because inflation data has come out a little bit hotter and the bond market is reacting to that. So the bond market is saying, hey, we need these rates up higher. Most likely we're going to have an emergency cut at some point in 2025, just to be clear with that. Apple looks like a 30-minute divergence, still holding there for the negative divergence, actually saying Apple could fall. Tesla. Okay, Tesla's one that we want to talk about because look at this, trying to form some kind of base down here. I know it doesn't look good with this bar right here, right? But we're building liquidity. I want you to think about that. We're building in this area. So if you're able to now curl up, what do you have at the low? You have a divergence. We're doing this because it's Christmas week. I'm going to show you guys how to find these setups, right? What I'm actually looking for and when to know, hey, can I react? And so now I'm going to plan that out. Tesla, trying to make a bundle of price action, building liquidity. Right now, that looks bad. If that would curl up, that means, hey, that could be good. If this is able to show some green bars right here, just like right there, right? We want to see a green bar right here. You have divergence on the MACD. You have divergence on the RSI at the same time. And we have a weekly expected move up on Patreon. So if that is going to cross up and then break through these levels, where's it most likely to go? Well, I would say breakdown area towards 462, but I can look for that weekly expected move and see if it's in that area, right? But that is the most likely place to connect with at this point if we're going to see positivity. If you're going to see extended positivity, you might see a crazy move outside of that. We've seen some crazy stuff during Christmas week because of those Christmas rallies. All right, and then let me look through a couple more because I think it was, oh man, Amazon still has already made that base. And you notice Amazon's able to hold up better. That's because it's already came down to those lower prices, said we are divergence down there, so watch out for an upside move. See if that 2-hour can curl up. So Amazon actually could see a pretty solid move. I would, look for a breakdown area, something at this wick, probably at 227, but we could go all the way up to here. These closing bars here, where you really start to break down was here. See that tiny little gap right there that we filled very quickly? It's sneaky, but 230.50 could be a great level if you see this 2-hour curl up. That could be an opportunity going forward, right? We're just showing off some good stuff for Christmas here. NVIDIA, I don't think it looks like the best setup in the world right now, but the 2-hour is curling up. You have a little bit more room to the upside, maybe for some kind of move to 141, maybe a retest would be nice here. But ultimately, for NVIDIA, the daily crossing up would be a good sign for positivity for a little bit more time. Want to be open to lower highs with the market in this kind of state. AMD, we already talked about that, and it's already hit a weekly expected move. There you go. So AMD actually had the perfect sell so far. But this is just getting started. So if this thing could go crazy, that would be awesome. But that wick right there is all you got for the week. That wick right there is all you got for the week, which is kind of nuts, but you already made the move. I guess it's this thing's been beat down a lot, so a 4.5% move to the upside ain't bad. But yeah, we literally, this wick, Ooh, I'm just going to let you guys know it's Christmas week. I'm going to give. I'm going to talk about these things as if everyone's a Patreon member. And this is what we do in the videos, right? We do this in the weekly update videos. We actually show off the weekly ranges, talk about what things could happen around them. So I want to give you guys a taste of that this Christmas season if you want to join. But here you go, that wick right there. That's a weekly expected move. And look at the wick. Bam, starts to wick out. Now, that still looks like it could see prolonged positivity, but as far as weekly expected moves goes, that looks like where I would be saying, hey, can I break even? Can I do this? And then can I hold some runners? Meta, okay, Meta looks like a potentially good setup now. Even with the rejection, I don't mind it. I actually don't mind it. I want to be patient with it and see if this thing can actually confirm back above 598. If we can confirm back above 598, you at least probably have another 10 points in you for this one. But I wanted you to see how we tapered. Now we're tapering again. Okay, that's awesome. That means this is slowing dramatically. Now, does this mean it has to be positive right away? No. Does it mean I hop into calls right away? No. I want to see a strong closing above 598.41. I get that strong closing. I got probably about 10 points at least to go higher. I would still be looking at the breakdown area towards 616 for this week. That might be a little bit difficult, just so you are aware. Microsoft's our buddy, and maybe it gives us an opportunity soon by curling down on this MACD and curling back up. That would be fantastic, right? We're looking for setups. I really, really like this. I think I'm going to talk more about Microsoft in the videos. Maybe you guys could kind of vote for me right now in the chat and just discuss, hey, would you rather see, just put which one you would rather see in the chat, Microsoft or AMD? Thinking about changing those around. And then we'll bring up AMD still from time to time, just like we do with Microsoft, right? We'll bring it up from time to time. We'll leave it on the weekly expected move list. What we notice here from Google. Google, again, holding up better. And a lot of the ones that are holding up better are ones that have solid divergence. Notice Microsoft doesn't have a solid divergence there. It's kind of lower, right? That's a lower point, so it's not even divergence. But Google and Amazon, they're holding up a little bit better, and that's because they at least have some decent, okay signals here. I don't think they're the best, so I really like the fact that a lot of stocks are reloading. I'm more paying attention to the stocks that are reloading, just so you are aware. You are in an area where that would be some kind of, well, it would have been maybe even a neckline. We're getting the opposite kind of look and seeing that divergence. So this means the 2 hour might be able to curl up here. You're kind of inviting that. You have a lot of room to the upside for that MACD. And then you just want to watch out for traps by the end of the week, right? If that would all take place. Have these things confirmed? Well, we'll see if that 30-minute can whip back down. That would be nice to get an opportunity. But if that 2 hour crosses up, that's the confirmation I'm looking for. As far as AMC goes, now AMC, remember this is what we're talking about here. We're pretty much just going through these bit by bit because I think it's a good week to pay attention. First of all, 465. You got to get through 465 to see something crazy. We see that the 30-minute has the same structure as a lot of other stocks, but a lot more flaggy here. So if this is able to cross down, it means bad. But it doesn't mean that it's dead. It means that could be a trap setup before something good, because you have something that's very, very cool here. You have a daily divergence. Sorry, I thought my drawings were up. You have a daily divergence here. And the thing is, if you go look in the past, right, we go look way, way, way in the past, we'll notice that, what did you have here? A divergence right before the big move, one of the big moves, right? Not the biggest move, but it was before the biggest move. That declared a base. So we're looking for this to declare a base. That will really, really be a cool thing if this ends up playing out this way. We make the sturdy base with some kind of daily divergence across like this, just like in the past, around the same time frame, right? We're in this almost the same timing here. And then we notice that, hey, maybe the daily crosses up. That's the signal I'm really looking for to really expect positivity. Right now, we're building that base, which means the 30-minute can curl down like this and then curl up, maybe make a 30-minute divergence. A 2 hour is what I really want to pay attention to if that curls down, because this is kind of like a slanted, almost like a slanted cup and handle. If that would play out to the downside, maybe we don't make 30-minute divergence, but we make a 2 hour one and that confirms. That's the things I'm looking for AMC this week. GME, though, showing positivity. Is it curling up the 2 hour? No. Has it curled up the daily? No. That's the signal I'm looking for. If this starts to break down, again, you have to be aware you have a pretty good little trend here of higher lows. Okay, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher lows. Awesome. You start to lose 28.35, that can change. Right now, that ain't changing. So see if the 2-hour curls up, see if the daily curls up. You might be on the brink of something insane if those things do confirm. We're in the time frame where this stuff can start to pop, and that's probably why you're seeing FFIE, that's probably why you're seeing Wolf, and all these things make good moves. Let's go check on some other stuff because we're clicking around. GameStop, obviously, the top level you need to get through 32.79, just so you are aware. DJT, very interesting, not necessarily showing the best divergence right now, but you are holding kind of flaggy there. So DJT, a little bit different. Notice that you are coming down to this point, not making that low, okay? Not completely destroying this low, but you kind of see here, ooh, that wouldn't be a good sign. So we'll see what happens going forward. Really, you want that 2-hour to be able to confirm back up for something like DJT. Let's check on SoFi for a moment. Well, look at SoFi. It's the same look as everything else, guys. You're looking for if that 2-hour can curl up. So this means I really need to be watching 30-minute charts here. And if they show me a strong base, then I should believe it's a strong base, and that's it. This is all I want to pay attention to. This is why weekly expected moves can help, because a weekly expected move might be right down here, and we might go to that, and then everyone thinks, oh, this is bearish, and then it just curls back up, and you go, oh, well, we had a 68% chance to bounce from there. I confirmed divergence, so maybe this trend is going to change around. That's pretty much what you're looking for in a lot of stocks going forward. Palantir, we did talk about this a little bit, but now that I have the moves up, I really want to take a look. 30-minute, do we see any weakness? Not necessarily. Now, when you get to a 2-hour, you start to go, okay, that thing looks wonky. So maybe we want to pull up a 4-hour or a daily chart. You notice that the 4-hour just confirmed up. This is the smoothest looking chart for Palantir. You want to see when weakness is going to come in for maybe a few weeks here or a couple of weeks. Well, it's if Palantir crosses down on the 4-hour, that becomes very likely. If you start to take out these levels, that becomes very likely that you're going to at least react down probably to something like $58.88, $60, something like that. So you're looking for the daily pullback to be a little bit better here. And I think if you're able to do this pretty quick, ooh, that could get people bearish, and then you see opportunity. We're still talking about upward opportunity. If those continue to confirm down on the SPY and the Qs, it's gonna be a different story, right? If we start to confirm down on weekly charts, notice that it's confirming right now. We have a lot of time in the week, and they saved it last week. That we, I don't know if I think it might have been a lot of retail popping in, but overall, this did not confirm last week. So if we believe that they want to hold stocks up higher, then we should be looking for those bases, and maybe this weekly does see a great move going forward. All right, I think we got through a lot of them. I just wanted to give you guys some solid stuff going forward and know there are opportunities out there. And now I'm going to click through again and see which one I think looks like the smoothest, the best one. IWM looks like it could be a decent one. DIA is starting to curl down. TLT looks like it'd be a good one, but I'm a little fearful. I think Apple is the sketchy one for me. So I would not be, personally, I will not be looking at Apple. Tesla looks like it could potentially be an opportunity to see something crazy. It's building liquidity. I like the look from Amazon right now. NVIDIA, I think, yeah, 2-hour curl up possibly for NVIDIA could be good. AMD, there it is, trying to break through that weekly expected move, seeing something crazy. You want to see if that daily is able to curl up now. Good stuff for AMD. See, it ends up being okay. Like, it's just if you manage risk 3 times, it ends up being okay. And that's kind of the problem that I have with AMD. But we were looking for last week that reaction to the sell zone. Now it looks like we're getting that reaction at this moment. So very interesting. Let's go back over to the SPY. Just leave you guys on this because we need to pay attention for this. Okay, AMD probably not the best. I actually think Meta might look like a decent one. I actually think this one looks the best as far as what I see right now. Because you have 3 solid points, very easy on your RSI. You have the point now created on the MACD. This is fantastic. Okay, this is great. And then you can see maybe an upside move. Let me look at, now note that we do have a monthly expected move above you as well. Okay, you have the monthly expected move above you in these areas. Might have to look at that one. Hey, thank you guys for joining the Patreon this morning. Corey and Alberto, thank you guys so much for joining the Patreon this morning. We got some new people coming in there over the weekend, which is fantastic. So welcome, welcome, welcome to the new Patreon members. I think this would be quick if it's going to happen. Okay, Meta. Too much implied volatility there. Too expensive in the options, I think the premium was going into the options. Are people on the call side? Yeah, it's because people are on the call side. So I would love the shift down right now, which means Meta might get rid of this signal for a moment. We'll see. But I would love for things to dip down into buy zones right now, because now it seems people are going too heavily to the call side. So if we can make that flip for a second, it could make calls a little bit cheaper. Okay, so what's the other one? No. Maybe I'll just wait for SoFi. SoFi could set up a good one. Palantir is probably going to give all that up and head down towards $75. Gold. That means the dollar's about to drop off. So let me check on the dollar. Now, one thing we didn't discuss is if we get a currency collapse here, but the dollar still holding at higher levels, not confirming the divergence down, but see the divergence? That means good things for gold. So I want to see if gold's trying to make a base here, and then if the dollar comes down, hey, gold's probably going to go up. So GLD, want to be paying attention to this. We have weekly expected moves for this as well. Look at that big loopy move here, and then if we just cross down and cross back up, I'm pretty happy with GLD. But if the dollar is saying anything, it's saying most likely I'm going higher. So I would expect this to be a very short-term trade. A lot of people are talking about currency collapse, but I'm seeing the opposite signal. Okay, I'm seeing the opposite signal on the monthly scale. Okay, if that monthly is turning up, look at that. I do not want to mess around with it. Okay, I do not want to mess around with it. That thing is in positive territory. We can start to see dramatic selling right away because it's in positive territory. But note, in the past, it's taken some time. Hopefully you guys watched the Saturday video. If you haven't watched the Saturday video, I highly encourage you go watch it. It is good to have the big picture in your mind while trading these shorter time frames. It will really help you in saying, okay, I need to be quick with this. I need to watch out for these type of signals. That way, if I do take a call, I know how I need to manage risk going forward. Volatility, let's see here on the 2 hour, trying to curl up. I wouldn't mind this 30-minute to go up a little bit, right? Because that could cause some things to pull down. I want this to pull down deeper. I want this to come down into these areas. I want it to maybe even go lower than that. I want it to come all the way down. I would love for a weekly expected move tag here, and then we just, boom, rocket ship to the other weekly expected move. That would be fantastic. But yeah, things are a little bit too, I would say, people are going to calls is what it seems like. All right, now that we've looked at a bunch of stuff, I can go back over to the chat with you guys. Did Apple announce a buyback? Because we're actually seeing a lot of people say they're not going to do buybacks. Are you in your USO play? No, I had to manage that one too. It sucks. It's like the ones I've chosen I've had to manage a lot lately. So 2 hour cross down, held it a little bit for the gap, thinking there would be an opposite reaction. But once I see that lower high, once I see this lower high right here confirm, you're closer to the center line. That's when I got out, actually. Actually, I think it was later than that. I think it was after this pop. Like, I still believe this could cup and handle. And it was a longer out option, so I didn't see too much decrease there. Yeah, then once I started to see that fade, I went, no, there's no way that this thing's heading up right now. It can later, right? It's still pretty, like, it's kind of consolidating in here, right? If you look at a bigger time frame, like a daily, you're going, okay, we're just kind of bundling up. It's just if that daily crosses, I didn't want to be a part of it. So yeah, it's unfortunate. A couple of the plays I've chosen have been unfortunate over the last couple of days. Just had to manage. Like AMD and USO, I had to manage. TLT, I almost took with that. So it's like, I'm not, it means to me, I need to be paying attention to different stocks, right? It means if I'm seeing these things and they're not playing out in these type of indices, USO, maybe TLT, maybe you know, even what was it? Volatility sometimes. It's like, okay, if those aren't playing out, maybe I need to look just back at my tech stocks. Maybe I want to look at a stock that I've traded a lot like Apple. Maybe I just want to look for one that I think has a good setup. So I do have that up on my other screen here. I want to make sure that's here. I kind of like the Microsoft look now. I'm going to look for that divergence for Microsoft. And actually, what's one that's a little bit less? Let me see. Maybe the Goog. Probably the Goog looks better because the weekly expected move is in a great spot. Cuckoo, cuckoo. I don't see any news of Apple buyback. Yeah, I've heard buybacks in general are just not going to come in early 2025, but that's just me. Yeah, so Google, I think, follows the market. Whoever was asking about Google, I think I saw someone asking about Google previously in the chat. Just so you know, if you just pull up a 30-minute and look across, right? If I do this and I go, oh, look at that. And then I go like this and I go, oh, look at that. And then I go like this and I go, oh, look at that. And I go like this and I go, ooh, that's different. Ooh, that's different. But look at that. Look at that. Apple's different. So this is where it goes, okay, if I'm seeing a lot of things with similar looks, then we might see moves across the board, and that could project the SPY and the Qs higher, which is something we're kind of looking for. So if I see all of these start to confirm, do you think that means the market's going to go up or the market's going to go down? If all of those stocks I just showed you do this and then do this, do you think it means we're going to go up more likely, or are we going to head down? Well, we're going to head up, right? That's what it's more probable to move up. That's where I would position my money for probably if I wanted to play the Christmas rally, that's most likely what the look will be. VIX is spiking. Yeah, I don't want to get overexcited about something like this just yet. You need a 2-hour to really cross up to convince me, hey, we're going to sell off hard. And this could be an overreaction, right? If we're really talking about this plain and simple, that might have been an overreaction. I think it was well-deserved. You saw one of the biggest sell-offs in, like, what, history? One of the biggest one-day sell-offs. I think it was like one of the biggest 3-hour sell-offs in history. I think it was like top 2. So yeah, that matters for sure. But I just want to pay attention to what this is saying. If the 2-hour can confirm up, that means volatility probably has to get through like 24 today. And so I'm more paying attention right now to the shorter time frame because we're still negative. Right? So I can see if this is going to make a lower high by simply paying attention to the SPY. Ooh, that rhymed. Exactly, and that's what we're talking about. Xena? Oh, Lucas to Lucas? I'll go look on my other charts real quick because I don't know what that stock is. Xena Tech. Okay. Ooh, I don't like that 2-hour look just yet. Yeah, that's a very speculative stock. You don't have a lot of history with it. You can't even load a full daily chart. Saw a big rip, curled down, curled back up, curled down, curled back up. I'd say if the 2-hour crosses down, that thing's probably going down. That's what it looks like to me for this guy. Like just treating it simply. If it doesn't curl down, hey, keep going. I'm down for it. You're in positive territory. Awesome. But if it curls down, I need to be able to react, and that's simple. You don't have the best looking signals here. You almost have double top signals and a lot of wicks coming in. My guess is you got short sellers hitting this real hard. That's my guess. Not to hate on your stock, right? I'm just telling it how I see it. But the 2 hours positive right now, which means positivity, most probable thing. Oh, of course, I'm always here to help out another Lucas, you know what I mean? Because my name's Lucas. That's awesome. NVIDIA 30-minute and 2-hour looking good. I think the 2-hour looks pretty good for NVIDIA. If it can cross up, I'm pretty happy with it. And I think it might be trying to this morning. Oh wait, it already crossed up. I mean the daily. I still want to see that daily curl up. If the daily curls up, you could see NVIDIA make a new all-time high. Three weird long wicks on the 1 minute for the SPY. Let me look at that. Let's see where those wicks are. I don't see weird long wicks on mine. Maybe it's on yours. I don't see it just yet. We're getting these little 5-minute rips, and then they're coming down, so we'll pay attention to it. Let's see what a 5-minute looks like here. This should be very down. Okay, so the best way for this to behave for an opportunity, if this is how it plays out, guys, this will be insane, because this will be fantastic. Is we do this, right? We're gonna do this, but first we're gonna do something like this, right? We see the 5-minute really, really deep. First, one, I think we'll head lower. One, I think we got to head lower for this to play out, but I just want you to be open to this opportunity. If this goes like this still, then we curl up and retest the 5, then we reject again, and we do that. I'm going to love that look. That's going to give me the divergence across on the 30-minute. That's going to give me divergence here on a 5 and right at a daily, and then boom. That could be a literal strong base. I want that to come further down on the 5-minute first, though, for that to set up. So I want this to stop, reject, go like this. I don't want this to curl up right now. I would like that to get a little bit deeper, I think. Yeah, I think a little bit deeper would be nice. Weird, can I share a screenshot here? You can send it to me in an email. My email's in my About section. George, if you want to, send me a screenshot and I'll take a look at it. Because if you're seeing it, that's kind of strange that I'm not seeing it. But we've seen that all the time, right? Remember that one time? I'll send it in Patreon. Okay, I'll try to take a look. Rumble? Whoa, Rumble's up 70%? Holy fam. Yeah, that's you couldn't really catch that, I think. Why was this up so much? Did it have earnings? Oh, no. They announced something. They got something going. Wait, what was the news with this? They got some news. I know they did. I read about this. 775 million strategic investment from Tether. That's what it was. Wow, what a move. That will cause some interesting things to happen, probably. We'll see. I want to look at something different. I want to look at Mara. Mara, you see the same thing. We're trying to make... Oh, look, we might get down to that 1873 I like. Oh, we're on... Oh, no, I'm on 30-minute charts over here. Good. All right, remember we're in a buy zone. We don't have to go down and make the divergence. I just think that would be the best fake out and opportunity. What was I looking at over here? I think it was... the Googmeister. Google a bunch of little 5-minute divergences to tell you, hey, this 30-minute is likely to roll at the center line. Rejection from the 5-day. Okay, thank you, George. I'm going to take a look real quick. I just see Jeff. I might have to wait a second to get that email. Or, not email, message. It's hard, like, I get like 20 messages a day. That's why, if you guys really want to get my attention, it's better to go to my email for a second. And just note, I have a lot of people trying to talk to me all day, every day. So I apologize if I can't get back to you. That's why I do live video. You get my attention fully here on the live video if you ever have a question. I'm just one dude trying to do this, right? Run this whole YouTube. All right, Goog. Do it, man. Flush. Flush, 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 flush. No, SPY, stop going up. Q's, curl down, damn you. I just want to see if this is holding in some way. I think it is with the wick now. I don't really like that. Come on, baby, get down. Unless you guys want it to go up, then I'll say go up. If you guys really wanted to go up, I'll say go up, but I just want the opportunity. VIX 9-day about to cross up on the 30-minute chart, so we can start to see some selling come in. Let's look at volatility. Is already curled up. We'll see if that can go positive. Rejecting right now from the level of 20. Man, AMD went right up to that weekly expected move, and it cannot break through. Would expect to see something crazy from that guy, but you look at this. Nearly there. Gonna see some kind of squeeze. That'd be nice. 41, 30. All right. Make sure this view looks good for you guys. Sorry, I'm just making sure the app looks all right on here. Looks pretty good to me. Let's retest VWAP now. The bottom of the channel is tested. What's the level VWAP's at? I don't have that on my chart yet. Actually, I don't really use VWAP anymore for my trading strategy. Yeah, because that would add some validity to retest breakdown again. 580, baby, come on, come on. Yeah, we haven't crossed down on that MACD to really say like that's a highly probable thing. 590. 590. Got another point left, half point. DJT trying to find some base. Let me go peek at that on my other screen. It's trying to, but it easily could go make that 30-minute divergence like a lot of other ones. I'm also across the room from my rig. You're like, I'm trading from afar. Looking to short Google at 182. Yeah, Google, I guess you would say, yeah. Short Google at 182. Oh, yeah, you're trying to play the gap play, maybe? Trying to see if we can cut through that like butter, I guess. I like the look from Google if we can drop down here. DJT looks like if we can make a 30-minute base for DJT, whoever's paying attention to that, I'd like that more. I would really, really like that if we made a 30-minute base there. Oh, this is kind of nice, actually. I kind of like this setup now. RGTI, ooh, let's go look at RGTI. This is one that I shouted out, what, a week and a half ago? Love the move. I loved the base here. Loved the base. I know it's on shorter time frames, but it just told me, hey, this looks really like it's tapered heavily right there. And then you got the big reaction. You take back the 5. It's great. Looking for that 2 hour to curl up. You can still keep going, but as you get to these levels, you can get a rejection here, and that's a big deal. So the real play was like down in here, and then if you take back 5, you're more comfortable. Now that you're above those highs, you start to go, ooh. And this is where I'd hope you would make a weekly expected move. I do not have a weekly expected move for RGTI. Come on, Goog. Come on, Goog. Because I think Goog has a chance to make a new all-time high, actually. I like this, but it's so far. Look how curvy that is. It's so nice for the swing trade. So I'm looking for the signal to get in on the swing trade earlier. But nothing proven itself, nothing dropping to lower levels yet. So let me go check on that volatility again. Yeah, VVIX looks like it wants to have a curl up. Volatility starting to try to go positive soon, and VIX 9-day. VIX 9-day is looking like it's going to curl up. So most likely that leaks into the VIX itself. Ooh, let me look at Bitcoin over here for a moment. Because I was looking for Bitcoin to make a 2 hour base here. It kind of did. Now I want it to be a 4 hour base, I think. Yeah, I want the 4 hour base. Yeah, so how you know if Bitcoin can go higher is we really like our 2-hour charts, we really like our 4-hour charts for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin dropping dramatically to lower levels. So right away we want to just go, okay, what's the clearest signal? Well, it's actually probably a 4-hour way down here. All these wicks keep coming down in these areas. We keep seeing sells down to these areas, and now we're bundling up. If we can come all the way back down to here for just a brief moment, do this, do that, turn back up, might mean the daily is actually just going to curl back up here. Look at that daily, right by the center line. I know we have divergence, and we have to be aware that this thing can drop, but it doesn't mean we can't get a short-term pop. Maybe we get something like this. Left, head, right shoulder. Or, if that curls up into positive territory, what if we get rid of the divergence? Because actually it's very likely, because this is still positive, right? This is still positive. If that can curl up into positive territory, it's likely we might take that out, maybe set up another trap here. We'll see if that happens. Let's look at Ethereum. Is that helping us at all? See, that's a little bit negative, but no divergence there for Ethereum, just the double top shown on their RSI. I don't think Bitcoin will be safe from what's coming. I don't think so. Why? Because Michael Saylor is touting it right now. AMC about 4 minutes away from the MACD crossing. Oh, is Rumble running too high? I mean, you would suggest, yeah, it's a 70% run. It's a 70% run, right? So, come on. But you would also say, things that see massive moves, like if AMC and GME would see their big moment, it's like, okay, well, technically then is AMC that ran to $100-something, is that cheap at $10 if it ran there? Is it cheap at $12 if it ran there? You just want to be paying attention if those 30 minutes roll up. Raydell's going to short. You got a ways to go for that short. You got a little ways to go. But hey, good luck to you. Seems like you're pretty confident with it. I mean, as far as Google goes, it makes sense for it to plummet here. So I understand, like it makes total sense to land as far as our moves go below like 180. But it's not really doing things that make sense for the month of December according to the options market, right? The options market got this one completely wrong. Uba dinged in my ears. Crypto Kings. Is it because we went over crypto for a second there? Do I need to put a crypto video out to show you guys how to look at those 2-hour and 4-hour signals? Thank you so much for joining us, Crypto Kings. Appreciate you being here. What cryptos are you paying attention to? Crypto. You're the king. Or kings. 2 of them? 2 kings? Yeah. Lucas, give me your opinion on the dollar. My opinion on the dollar still stands. My opinion on the dollar is not changing here. The only thing that's changing is if we're going to see a run, you're most likely going to see the dollar go down. This is what we were talking about with gold earlier. Look at the divergence. So if that can prove itself, if that can confirm, that would more likely be like, okay, this is going to back off. What does that mean? People are probably going into assets. Unless we are seeing, a lot of people talking about the dollar collapsing. I don't see that. I see the opposite. Okay, I see the opposite, which is, yes, a daily trend down makes sense. A daily trend all the way down into our buy zone might make sense. But first, we want to pay attention to 106.43, line in the sand being 105.65. That's just an important level we've paid attention to. But the reason that I'm not convinced that this is going to be some kind of currency collapse is because look at the monthly right now. Look at the monthly right there. That's curling up. That's the signal we're looking for. That means bad things can start now. If that confirms now, then we might see bad things now. But underneath this, you have a few days left in the month. And 2, underneath it, you have a daily divergence. So what do you think will happen if they want to buy time so the dollar does not explode? Well, then we're going to see the dollar drop down like this and maybe go all the way down to here, get people really bullish, and then we'll look out for later in January. Could be more brief than that, right? It could just bam and then curl up. But we're looking like sometime in January to pay attention. We can look at high yield growth, that thing dropping off again, right? But 30-minute here for VIX, not able to get above 20. The SPY's still getting these wicks. People want to get bullish. We get GME has been up on the weekly for a while. They're so close to crossing again in the daily. GME, yeah, daily. I really like GME on the daily. All right, you get daily momentum. I'm happy with GME, but you're just not getting it yet. You're not getting it yet. AMC turning down. Hey, that's fantastic. Look at that. It's crossing down. So if that confirms on a negative bar, okay, we're likely to take out that low and head lower. I can pay attention for the 30-minute signal. I can pay attention for if the 2-hour can cross. Yeah, if the 2-hour can cross here, I can pay attention to the 2-hour signal at the same time. And then you have a divergence here and a divergence here at the same time for the double bottom. And you have a daily divergence as well. You pretty much, AMC could set up a golden setup. If you've taken the course and you remember the golden setup, we used it with Apple back during an earnings a long time ago. Now, we don't like to play earnings, but we say golden setup. Hey, it's a golden setup, you know what I mean? Very likely to play out very quickly. And that's exactly what happened. So if we get a golden setup for AMC, I'm probably going to put some more money behind it, honestly. AMD massively slept on. No, we were looking at AMD last week, guys. We were looking at this. We thought this reaction should come. Jerome Powell ruined that, right? We were talking about the great signals in here. Now you have a 2-hour divergence here. So this is, momentum is catching this. It's just very difficult for AMD a lot of the time, right? Very difficult for AMD a lot of the time. Very difficult for AMD a lot of the time. And this isn't even the best base. Like, you really haven't tapered off well here. You want to see one more moment of that. But hey, I don't care. If it crosses up on the 2-hour, that's awesome. I just know there's a weekly expected move here, so this could see something crazy. We could, you know, from this move, we were trying to get back up to that sell zone. Then Jerome Powell happened. We see this move, and we go, okay, now we have the divergence on the 2-hour. That can still get you to that zone. You would just have to see something crazy. But yeah, I've had to manage too many trades with AMD over the past 7 months now, so it's just not my favorite. But look at it, it's beat up, it's really, really down. Okay, awesome. So would I feel more comfortable investing at these levels in AMD than investing in, say, I don't know, even Apple right now? Would I rather invest for 12 months in AMD or 12 months in Apple? Probably 12 months in AMD. But I'm not saying that's a good thing to do. I'm just trying to give you the comparison right now of why AMD could be an opportunity. I see what you're saying. Intel? It's right when everyone says that it's junk that I start to pay attention, though. I'm not saying it has to be a good thing. If it is junk, it will keep behaving like junk, right? It will not be able to confirm signals, and then those signals will not play out. Even if they do confirm, that would be more junk to me. You know what I mean? 2-hour able to curl up here. 30-minute divergence, actually. So you might get a test of 2464 soon. Ooh, that 30-minute looking a little extended, so not really divergence down there. This actually might show up on the hourly chart. Yeah, there it is. So the hourly chart is just very flat divergences, so I'm not the biggest fan. What should you focus on when you start? Don't focus on being right. Focus on giving helpful information, right? However you like to do things, if you have a category that may be something that I don't talk about, you know, find something that makes you stand out a little bit. And I would say focus on being helpful, right? Give multiple indications of why these things could happen, right? Explain why. I see a lot of YouTubers, they'll just call themselves technical analysts, and then they'll just say, yeah, this is the pattern right here. And then they'll move on to the next stock. Yeah, the pattern of this move right here can do this. And yeah, that's it. So my target is this. That's what a lot of YouTubers do, and it doesn't give you any help. That is someone actually like just predicting. You don't want to predict. You want to kind of come up with those scenarios. Like, that's what I always say. I come up with scenarios that are very likely to happen because I understand how things behave. And then I go, okay, with those scenarios in mind, I'm ready to react later on in the day. For Intel, I don't mind this hourly signal. I really wish... Oh, it is on the 2-hour. Okay, so I was looking at the wrong chart. My bad. The 2-hour, this is a fantastic signal for Intel. This is a fantastic... I have not taken any sponsors at this moment, even though I have about 20 in my inbox. I have not. The only two I've considered... I haven't used, have I used Moomoo? I don't know. Moomoo keeps reaching out to me, and Bookmaps. Or Bookmap. So we'll see here, 2-hour divergence. This actually looks pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good actually on the RSI too. So this means a daily uptrend can start to happen here. So what we want to pay attention to are a few key levels. If that is going to produce, if that 2 hour is going to confirm soon, well, then we could react all the way up to something like this, right? 2151, we want to pay attention, but we could see a big reaction all the way to the breakdown area towards 2363. 2363 looks like the level here for Intel. And that's just because daily looks like, hey, I'm starting to curl around. If I can curl up, that would be positivity. The 2 hour has the divergence to tell you, hey, this potentially is a strong base. You always have to be aware of how to manage risk, but this is confirming in 54 minutes. Oh, no, I don't promote my page at all. Nope, all of it's organic. Started from 0, 100% organic. Jared, I would say, or J-Rod, I would say something that can really help you out. I worked in marketing for 10 years. I've worked for the biggest television ad company in the city, actually the biggest funded television ad company and radio ad company in the whole state. But I ran the social media side of things and websites. So I do SEO. SEO is all you need, and then you need to give good information. At the end of the day, the most important thing if you are at all trying to become a content creator, because I have done it on TikTok as a comedian, I've done it on Instagram as a model, I've done it on now YouTube with finance stuff, right? Because I just did not like the toxic side of social media, so I got out of it for the most part. But right here, the most important thing is the content. Is the content good? Right, that's why if you're trying to make, that's why I hate on people in my city who try to make TikToks dancing now. It's like, you got to stand out, you got to be yourself. And something that'll really help you as far as YouTube, if you're trying to do YouTube, make sure your SEO is on point. That means look at, type in Google Trends on Google, go to Google Trends, see what people are looking at, see what category you really want to go into, and then make sure your SEO is good. But the first thing is the content has to be good. Yeah, see, and this is a good example. Courtney, I really appreciate that message because that's the big point, and that is how I saw myself going forward. I was like, let me actually try to say things that can help people. Let me actually show these things in the charts that can help people, not just these YouTubers that pull up a daily chart, right? You probably see this all the time. Daily chart, they'll look at it for a second, they'll go, yeah, there's some extreme buying here, we are in a buy zone, so that means we could potentially see the upside move, most likely not too worried about this here. That's all you get, and that's not helpful. A much more helpful thing is, how are we going to behave in this buy zone? Why is this buy zone important? Why is this buy zone important today? Well, today we have the potential to make a reversal signal. Today we have a daily expected move and a monthly expected move in a buy zone, so that could be some strong support. That's a lot more helpful. It's a lot more helpful. So that was what I noticed that would seem to be missing because I took the courses, right? I took people's stuff. I watched a lot of YouTube channels for the technical analysis side of things. And I noticed that everything started to get better when I started to more focus on my technical analysis and just took some things a little bit away from those people. And then I go, okay, but how can I make this good for me, right? A lot of YouTube, they're trying to make it good for a lot of people. There is if you're trying to make a finance YouTube or something like that, I know we're talking about this is off topic and we're going to get back into stocks, but if you are doing it, you are kind of a slave to YouTube with the algorithms. That's the unfortunate part. The fact of it is, if I don't put something catchy in a thumbnail to cause some kind of emotional reaction, I'm not going to get views on YouTube. And I wish it wasn't that way, but it is. So I have to talk about things a little bit drastically in the thumbnail, but when we break down stuff, you can see how we're talking about both sides. How long do a losing trade too long? Anyone in the chat just know worst thing you can do? Yeah, it is one of those rules, kind of like, get rid of the losers quick, stick with the winners. But AMD, I mean, if you're playing a downside or playing an upside play, you should be happy with this behavior here. You're seeing a solid move outside of a weekly expected move. Here's the test. Okay, let's go pay attention to the SPY. That's 590. This is where I would really like us to drop further. I really would. And that's pretty controlled, not the strongest looking little 5-minute bars. We haven't had that sporadic bar upward. I still would like us to go to, actually we've crossed though. We've crossed. So now we have the potential to take back VWAP for a second. If it's right at that 590, we come up to that date, that 5-day, and then we can cross down. If I see something like this, I'm still liking it. I know that that can drop lower. I'm still liking it, and then I'll just watch for that 30-minute to be able to stay positive. Exactly, Samurai, and that's just the unfortunate thing. You would expect, hey, I'm subscribed to this channel, so therefore I see what I'm subscribed to. It's just not how it works, and that's the unfortunate part about YouTube. But that's why you'll see channels like Johnny Bravo. Johnny Bravo is a great example. Johnny Bravo is a great example of someone who, he does say bullish things in his videos, but he makes the thumbnail look scary as hell, because scary as hell is better to get clicks on YouTube. And that's just what, as YouTubers, we're kind of a slave to at this moment. I hope it changes so I don't have to be that way. I can just be like, hey, stock market update for tomorrow, bullish, embarrassing. You know what I mean? So it's just more people want to tune into the video to get good info instead of like, oh no, I'm shitting my pants and now I could lose all my money. Oh God. And then they come in and I'm like, well, actually, we were just talking about the bearish side on the weekly scale, but we can head up in the meantime for now, right? Tesla, I think, has some good signals though. I like the signals from Tesla, guys. I love this right here, because this is where you're seeing some little pressure of buying with the wicks. You're holding this level really well. When you close below it, you gapped up. So this level is probably really important right here at 423.80. And if this can curl up, that means that Tesla is very likely to see a 2-hour uptrend, and it's in positive territory. Remember what we talked about with Tesla over the weekend. Tesla does not have 2-hour divergence. So we can be open to positivity. We understand if that goes negative, it's bad. We understand if this 30-minute is curled down, it's bad, but we're ready to react now. And if I see this 30-minute cross up, I can make a decision. And Tesla likes to move, man. So Tesla has the highest implied volatility. It does make options. It does make options a little bit expensive for Tesla. Most of the move is happening sideways consolidation. Yeah, so what you're looking for, Suri, is lower highs and some stuff. So that's why we're pointing out Tesla, actually, because someone asked about it and I was looking at it on my other screen. And so I just wanted to show Tesla is one of the ones actually showing the divergence, which is great. Amazon showed the divergence, which is great. I was really hoping Google would get the opportunity here. I was really hoping Google would get that opportunity to make a double bottom here. So I want to pay attention to the ones with clear signals. Tesla does have a clear signal here, right? That if it would play out, I can react. That's why I really want to pay attention to it. Exactly, Jack Katz. And I do apologize. Like, I have to apologize for that because I don't want it to be that way. But here, the fact of the matter is, my views go down by 60% if I put something bullish up. So I'll scare you with the thumbnail and put you at ease within 2 minutes of the video. That's kind of how I've done things. AMC uncrossed on a 30-minute. Damn. Qs, you're looking for a similar thing, Kalani, okay? Qs, we're still looking for the similar thing, right? We're looking if this is going to be able to catch that ground back, get that ground back. Really what we're looking for, if we're not going to see a lower move again, is if this 2-hour can cross up. If this 2-hour crosses up, how likely do you think that is to get here, right? Because by the time you cross up, you're going to be like this probably. So then this seems very, very easy. It seems very simple. And if you say, oh, Christmas time, they might want to rally this thing, people are probably going to buy here, bam, that's where you see the upside move. That's where we'll pay attention to maybe a divergence in the future. And I think you're very likely to see this in the first week of January. I think you're going to see this. But just because I think that doesn't mean it has to happen. All right. And that was accused. More so see that on the SPY, but we just got to see how it plays out, right? With more price action, everything becomes more clear, which is the nice part. Crossing on a 2 hour and touching on the daily in positive. Very, very nice. So AMC looks like you said it was unconfirming on the 30-minute. We will see if that proves itself in a moment, right? That would be a good sign for the stock. But just note, if that's crossing, it's not bullish right now. GME, though, 2 hour just barely trying to do it. Daily probably about 50 cents off from doing it. They do not want this above 30. They definitely don't want it above 32. That's what we need to do right now for GME, by the way, is I need to go look at the option levels for you guys for this, just to see what I see, just to explain some things that I could be seeing in here. So let's pull up GME, because last week that helped us with the 30 level. This week it's the 30 level, so the 30 level is important. So you're going to see a big fight right here. 32, not as important this week. Actually, it's extended up to 35 and 40. So your levels are 30, 35, and 40. So that's very easy to remember, which is nice. AMC, we don't necessarily want to be paying too much attention to AMC's options. As far as the chain goes, you just know 450 and 5 are always important. Very, very good. I like it. Let me get the chat up here and then get my chart up. There we go. I like this. I like my new setup here. I downloaded the app to make it better. A lot of times when there's a ton of volume and mainly far above the average volume, does a stock go down? Are you trying to state that volume means... Let me ask you a question, Royal Freshness. Does volume mean a stock has to go up? Does volume mean a stock has to go up? Just to see where your head's at. I want to see where your head's at. Oh, you don't know. Okay, perfect. So volume doesn't mean a stock has to go up. Volume is the transactions happening, and when there are more sellers than buyers, you're going to see red, right? When there's more buyers than sellers, you're going to see green, right? So if I go to the SPY and I go like this, and then I turn on my volume real quick, right? Boop, volume. What are we going to notice? Well, this bar right here, a lot of buyers. So there was more buying than selling yesterday, or Friday, I guess. Today, there's a low amount of volume, and it's mostly selling. Why is that? Because here's the close from the previous day, and we're heading down. That's all I want to read into. Now, when you can pay attention to volume is when it starts to get tight, right? So what did we do before we started the collapse? Well, you'll notice that volume was on a downtrend. And then we hit like this point right here, and it starts to move the other direction, right? So that's all we're paying attention to. Now you have major up, major up, major up. So we're looking if that's going to potentially keep going, actually. 25 calls at 422. Santa is on its way for Tesla. Let's go see. Let's go see. Not confirmed yet. You're getting a little excited there, but hey, I get it. Maybe we'll go into the shorter time frames and see if this is any good for you. Look at that volume. Look at the volume. Low, low, low. So you're probably about to see something here. Not great signals just yet for that, and the 30-minute hasn't confirmed. Right? You just had this peak in volume, but the 5-minute started to die down, which means some kind of move is coming. Which way is that going to be? Well, if volume is more to the seller side, then you're going to see red. Turn off volume though. I just don't like to see it all the time on these bars. I have it up usually on my other charts a little bit. I usually look at volume before I make my YouTube videos. I'll usually analyze some stuff, look at volume before, and then make a decision on what I think is important to tell you guys. MSTR, one of my most hated stocks. Yes, I will look at it. MSTR, is it right now, is that MSTR with this behavior right here? Is it overall market? No, so potentially I'm probably just paying attention to if the 2 hour can cross up. But what's the difference here for MSTR? Well, the 2 hour is going to cross up. If it does, it's in negative territory. Most likely, MSTR will have to make a stronger base here. We'll look if the 30-minute can cross down and make that strong base. I am not a fan of the stock. I will never buy 1 share of MSTR. Inverse head and shoulders on the hourly. Not really seeing an inverse head. Oh, inverse, okay. I mean, that would be a nice way to head up, actually, here. Are you saying this could be the left shoulder? You're saying something like this? If you're saying this, that would make a little bit of sense. But I would say if I'm looking at a smaller time frame, I'll even go into a 30-minute and just show this off. And also, I'll show this 5-minute divergence at the high here. So that 5-minute curling back up's great, but that is likely that we're going to see this curl down. If that 5-minute pops up when you're at the center line, I notice that a lot of the time the 30-minute will curl down as far as 5-minute charts go. For this, I would really like to see this if you want an inverse head and shoulder. I want this to be the left shoulder. I want this to be it. I want this to be it. I want this. Because then you're going to get a divergence, you're going to react up, you're going to dip back down and curl back up into positive territory. That's what I would like to see personally. That would be a strong base, right? I'm looking for a strong base. Yeah, MSTR, you just got to be a little bit careful with, because of who's behind it and because of their business strategy. Just so you're aware, Ben, I want you to be aware of what MSTR is, okay? MSTR, their company, everything to do with the company itself, their products, whatever you want to call it, it's not financially good when it comes to that. The only reason this stock is up is because they bought Bitcoin. All right, they bought Bitcoin and everyone gets excited, gets into it. Bitcoin goes up, MSTR goes up. Bitcoin goes down, MSTR goes down. Hey, that's awesome, Micro Moves. I love to hear people's wins. That's great. Yeah, I ain't hating on you. But MSTR, just to put it in perspective here, if you buy $100,000 worth of MSTR, because Bitcoin potentially, let's just say right now it's worth $100,000, buying $100,000 of MSTR is like paying $100,000 for right now for a third of Bitcoin. So in order to buy that amount in Bitcoin that you're buying in MSTR is pretty much be like $300,000. It might be more worse than that now because MSTR's dropped off dramatically. We'll see, but might be better than that. Who knows? What I want to pay attention to is just I don't like the guy behind this. That's why I will not buy it. I will not buy anything that Michael Saylor is touching, is a part of. Unless I want to take his money one day and I see a great signal, but no, not good. When you buy MSTR, you buy the hype, dude. Hell yeah. So the reason I don't like Michael Saylor is because he was one of the biggest fraudulent people in the .com bubble. So if you want to buy into someone who was caught doing one of the biggest fraud moments in history, in stock market history, hey, then, you know, get behind it. But if someone does that, that's enough for me to say I don't want to be a part of it. Oh, fuck. What's the company card called? It starts with an N. Someone help me out. What's the company start with so you can look it up? Sup, bro. I want you to be able to look it up. It starts with an N. Neuron, frickin' A. How do I forget these things? It's not Nextron or something like that. What the heck is it? Someone's got it, right? Someone knows this. Enron, that's what it is. Enron. Neuron, yeah, Enron. So, sup, bro. Go look up Enron and talk about the, look up Enron.com bubble. And then if you want, you can type Michael Saylor. And it's weird that I'm seeing him a ton now when we're almost in an everything bubble. So I don't know if we have the bubble stats really here, but the housing market is saying the housing bubble might be popping. We might see little pops, pop, but just know these things can continue to go up as other markets pop. People might just pile their money even more into tech stocks or AI or Bitcoin or things like that, and just know that that's going to be risky if everything's held up by 4 things. Now, here's the thing, Suri. You can trade anything. I'm more saying I would not be someone who is going to invest in MSTR when the SPY looks like this, because if that bubble pops and he's being fraudulent in any way, then you're going to lose everything. And he'll get bailed out probably. Little report here on CCL. He was Enron, that's what, yeah. So it's Enron, okay. And weirdly enough, Enron's coming back. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I saw this. I'm gonna look it up for you guys. Enron, let's just type 2024. Let's see this report, just the first one. Enron has been resurrected in what appears to be an elaborate joke. Monday, the 23rd anniversary of bankruptcy, rumors began to spread that the former Texas energy giant had come back from the dead. A sleek new website, Enron.com. So it's not a joke. So Enron is going to solve the global energy crisis, apparently. Okay. Well, thanks for coming back. Appreciate you, Enron. Who the heck just did some doots on my channel? The vibe coming in. Look at TNX. I think it will move to 5.2 and bring everything down. That's very, very, very good to pay attention to. Just note that they don't want that to happen. One thing is you're getting the 30-minute sequence move higher. Okay, so the sequence move is, you know, I don't say that a lot, but a sequence move means what are we in the sequence, right? So are we seeing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 push higher, and now that's the high, and we're going to get a lower high? Or are we seeing a new one begin? Okay. So what we're paying attention to here are 2 things: lower high and divergence. Either way, I don't like the look of that. Now, the 2-hour is saying, hey, I'm far away from the center line. So all I'm really talking about here is you're talking about it getting to 5.2 way up here. I'm saying that might take time, but it's definitely possible. Now, why is it possible? Because the daily curled up here. But I want you to notice something. They don't want that to happen because of what you're thinking, right? Just by BITO. Well, BITO can be a little bit manipulated. If we'll go look at that maybe in a second. But here we go with this. So I'm just suggesting a 2-hour pullback can come, then we maybe make another upward move, and then I'd watch out if I see a 2-hour, you know, sturdy little divergence there. But you know, just look in the past, you can see a lot of them over time. So mainly I want to be paying attention to dailies. But just note, if this starts to climb like this, that can cause so many freaking problems. Our debt, we won't be able to pay for our debt. Our banks are already underwater by over 500 billion. You got Bank of America that's in serious trouble right now. You have France that's already seeing this happen, by the way. You have France that is teetering on the brink of depression right now because global banks are not willing to lend them more money to keep it afloat. And that's the situation we're in because of all the debt crisis. It's a global debt crisis at this point. I know, that's what I'm saying, Matthew. I think you're gonna see something interesting maybe from AMD. I'm not gonna do anything with it. I can't. My fingers won't let me push the buttons today. But hey, Vibe, thank you so much for the $5. 5.2. 5.2 would be serious, and you have to be open to that happening, but be open to them cutting rates really fast afterwards. You were in a weekly uptrend and you rejected anything that said you were going to turn down. You rejected that. That's why I'm not investing back into TLT just yet. I need to see how this plays out. If we go all the way down to 82.50 for TLT, I might dabble, but this is serious. Like, it's very, very serious, because if this monthly starts to turn back up, that means, yeah, you might blow past 5.2. If this monthly curls up, you might blow past 5.2. You might end up at 6. 6? Are you kidding me? Do you know? The housing market already hates this. Look at the housing market. Look at home builders right now. You want to look for an opportunity? Hey, look for home builders. Look for those homes being built right now, because this is about to turn down on a weekly. We already showed the daily divergences here. Or I'm sorry, a monthly. We already showed the weekly divergences here. So the housing market doesn't like it now. Imagine if that goes higher, right? Imagine if that goes higher. That is a serious problem. That's why you need this to die down, right? The channel that we broke through, now you're just coiling up. You could potentially see, let's just do a measured move here. Maybe we can get an estimate of how high this could go according to the measured move. 5.6. Michael, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Look at that, 5.6. 5.6, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Holy crap, that's bad. On a 2-hour and 4-hour chart, I'm gonna look at the 2-hour as a reverse head and shoulders. I'm not seeing it like you are, but that doesn't mean it's not there, right? Maybe I'm just not seeing it right. Right now, look at the 2-hour though. 2 hours making the next trend move higher, so most likely we will see this hype broken. That's what this is saying in 2 hours. If that completes in 2 hours, hey, yeah, you're probably heading higher than this high. SPY hourly crossed red. Okay, now we need to go pay attention. The hourly actually crossed. Maybe you have the extended hours up. I don't like extended hours. Okay, this is when we pay attention though. Right when you're not crossing, this is where things are very interesting for technicals, because right at that cross is probably the most important point to pay attention to the stock and start to look for your opportunities, because this is when you look for the higher low. If this would turn down, that's when you look for the divergence, but right now we want to look for the opportunities. Remember Tesla? Keep an eye on Tesla. Yeah, I don't like extended hours just because of the volume. Weird stuff can happen with volume. Sometimes they shoot down to take out stops and things like that, so I just don't trust it too much. I like to see it in regular trading hours. So now we'll pay attention. We'll see if we can get higher lows. If not, then we're just going to see this reverse back down. See the 5 minute? See the 5 minute just trailing across. Now this could take place for a little bit. We want to make sure we're taking back that 5. Make sure that we're able to, you know, see something good. I want to look across here. I need to look on a bigger scale. Okay, this ain't bad. Where that daily move is, I kind of like this area. You see the gap in there, you see the retest. So we could say this is an important level. We could also explain that now that we know that level is slightly important, we could look for this. That's how you get to a weekly expected move by the end of the week. If you're going to make a higher low. If you're going to make a lower low, it's simple. Divergence, fake people out, then we head to the upside, right? And people are really going to the put side now. Notice what we were talking about this morning. Too many people to the call side. Too many people to the call side, so we need that to shoot down. Now we're towards the put side. Now you're seeing the dollar look like, ooh, it might want to roll here. So now you're looking for, hey, puts are going nuts. Now calls might be a little cheap. Doesn't mean it doesn't mean that we're going to have to see positivity, but it's everything you want to see for a tricky higher low. Higher low. That happens, you have a good shot to take back the 5-day. If you can hold that and you don't see that just flush or something at a daily, you can hold that. That's a good sign that we're probably going to a weekly expected move. So what I want to do is I want to look if calls are cheap on anything right now. What did I say? I liked, let me go look at my other charts real quick. I'm still paying attention to the chat though. Okay, so I want to do this. I like Goog. Really wish it dipped down one more time. Took some on the top, off the top there. Let me go look at IWM. Okay, I don't mind that look either. Actually, I might join you. Actually, I'm going to do TNA, though. TNA. TNA, if you weren't aware, IWM and TNA tracking together. IWM trying to make a double bottom with the divergence on the 15, showing a little bit here on the 30. So you can look for a 30-minute confirmation, but TNA is the 3x bull one. And so we can see if that gets some upside. Maybe play a breakdown area towards 48.59. That would be fantastic. That'd be great. And then what I want to do is I just want to look at IWM real quick. I'll show you guys something that I do that's a little bit cheeky. It's not the best thing in the world. Oh, I don't have the updated moves here. My bad. Okay, so it's at the low that I want to be paying attention. Right above the low, so it's right there. So I'm just going to leave this line here. That's kind of my line that I want to get to. I'm going to fix these later on, so let's pull this way, way down. Just ignore that for now. So now I know IWM can get to there. Okay, awesome. So then I go to TNA, and I go, okay, TNA, where's that breakdown? So it can probably get to 47. So then I'd mark that off. Pink. I'm going to mark that as, actually, red works for me. And then I can say, okay, if this can prove itself soon, I can make a decision. I'm not going to YOLO into it just yet, and I'm going to look at the pricing. Not bad. All right, now we chill. Now we're McChillin'. Yeah, that's just something cheeky you can do on the stuff. Now you don't necessarily want to make weekly expected moves for something like TNA, anything that's 3x. I don't really want to make weekly expected moves. I want to see where the weekly expected move pops up for IWM and correlate that to the chart on the other ETF, right? So I correlated that with the other chart. You'll notice it's at this low. Okay, cool. IWM, that's pretty much where I'm looking for that to get to. Sid trying to toot my horn, right? Trying to toot my horn to get me some likes. Hey, I'm down with that, Sid. That's fine with me. I want to look at the 5-minute structure here. Yeah, I don't see a good 5. Look at the base here for the 5-minute. A lot better. See that get really, really up there? A lot of divergence here for this low. Then you see a reaction. Now you're coming for the double dip. People got really bearish. Any news? Someone got news for me? Thoughts on IWM? I like the 30-minute signal here. I like this. It's very tight, but I like it. Maybe I want to extend it out just to a 15 to make myself feel better. And then I need to, but mainly I'm going to be managing risk on a 15. So this means if we see a move and the 15-minute goes like this, and then the 15-minute rolls, that's when I have to manage something. That's how I like to treat it. Treat it very close. Not yet, in a day or two. IWM back to 224. I think that's very likely. That's a very likely area to test, right? Tesla close to crossing up on the 30. Okay, so some of the stuff we're paying attention to this morning are starting to play out. And that's fantastic. Let's go check. Look at that. That's awesome. Hasn't confirmed yet, but it's close. It's close. Now, if Tesla is doing this, let's think about this. Let's try to get that common sense going. Let's think about this a little bit actively, right? Some critical thinking. If a big stock like Tesla is going to do this, and we're noticing NVIDIA starting to see more positivity. We're noticing Meta actually Meta's the one that I really liked, and Meta's confirming right now. If Meta's going to see that and get above 598.41, if Microsoft is going to start to turn from its buy zone, look at that, right? That's great. Not really divergence, but a very, very good higher low. That's going to do it. If Google isn't going to turn down here, it's just going to keep going with some kind of 15-minute sideways price action and then curls up into positive territory. What are we starting to look at across the board? We're starting to look at, hey, there's potential for bullishness to come in. There truly is right now. There's potential, right? We like the potential, but we just want to see it all proven. Then we want to manage risk. All right, of course, I get this error. Status code 59. Your payment could not be processed due to an authorized error. Please contact Teachable support. We'll try to contact them first, Michael. Try to contact them first, but send me an email if you can. My email is in the about section of my channel. Send me an email, maybe screenshot, and just send me what you see, and I'll try to help you out. But just contact support and make sure everything's good first. But I did have some people grab that over the weekend. Just a couple people grabbed it over the weekend, which is awesome. I like people getting in there, taking their weekend to dedicate that to some learning. But yeah, I want to make sure you're able to get it if you're wanting to learn a little bit. So send me anything you can, and I'll see if I can work with it. But first, contact support. It could be something super simple, like, you know, you're typing a period where there's not supposed to be a period. You know what I mean? Santa Rally, it could be coming. It genuinely could. Isn't that crazy? Oh, IWM got even cheaper. Okay, it's because it's not seeing the positivity. This thing's been beat up, man. It's been beat up for longer than the SPY, so I'd really like a good reaction here. I'm just not convinced yet. Not convinced yet. I'm going to leave it up on my other charts. We're going to go check on the SPY. We're going to leave that on a 15-minute and see if we're able to confirm this up. Remember, just because it confirms up, that's a good probability to see this start that positive trend to continue. But just note, if this does fail at any point early on, you want to be paying attention. If it goes like this and then crosses down, hey, yeah, that could just be a pullback to keep going, right? It's a 15-minute chart. But if this would go, oh yeah, we crossed up, we're bullish, and then fail right there, that's where you want to be cautious. That's the 5-day retest. I'll tell you what. I know what I'll do, Chris. I'll take it like a regular trade, but in my fun account because I'm taking it early. All right, there you go. Because I'm taking it early for IWM, I'll do it on my fun account. Switched over real quick. Just want to see if this can cross up. This is not looking as bullish, right? It's not looking like it's holding up like the SPY and the Qs. I'm looking for that retest there. Yeah, it didn't, and that was a big... That's probably because the yields, right? I'm sure someone brought that up in the chat, right? Someone probably brought that up in the chat. The small cap stocks, they really react when the 10-year sees a strong move. But I do want to point out here something interesting as far as IWM goes and the 10-year. I just want to point out that there are times where these go up in tandem, right? Look at this. It's going up, it's going up, it's going up, and that's actually when IWM got the gap up. And we're coming down, right? It likes when it's coming down, though. Now, this was potentially, what, the election? So maybe that caused some confusion there, but now that it's rising, and it's when it starts to really get going that kind of takes over. But the low here, I just want to show it, like if we hold at the low here, hey, yeah, once that started to tick up, hey, it became a problem. But I just want you to notice how we kind of shrug it off at times. Then it becomes a problem. Then we shrug it off, then it becomes a problem, then we shrug it off because we actually see that coming down. So there are times where you will be able to shrug it off for IWM, but just note that overall, if the yield is rising, these small cap stocks hate that. By DraftKings. Let's go check it out. Hey, Nazim, thank you so much for the $2. Really appreciate that. DKNG. Ooh, this actually doesn't look bad. I kind of like this look. Now, you're seeing this, see some big moves. I'd be looking for this to get a little tighter, right? And then see something, because these are kind of big moves for right now. So the volatility of the stock is increasing here, but you are at a level where you really want to bounce. Be aware that if that makes a lower high, you might have a massive move down, big move down. But for now, just look at the signals in front of you and we see triple divergence. Where do you see that? Well, let's blow this one up because this one looks like some good stuff. We're coming back down to the lows. Very good find. Big divergence here. When do you pay attention? When it's really close to the center line, right? Those are the best ones. So then we look at this and we go over to the RSI and we go, wow, look at that divergence. That is huge. So yes, this can see a big 2-hour move higher. You have 2-hour divergence at the low too. Hey, this looks like a steady divergence here where the daily can start to rip faces too. So we have to see all that proven. We have to understand that even if it looks like, hey, we're making a strong base and all that proves, we have to be open to being wrong. Even if it's that 1%, we like to say that a lot of the time, even if it's the 1%, okay, give yourself that 1% opportunity to be wrong so that you know, hey, I need to manage risk at this time. I need to pay attention to a bearish signal, right? But other than that, looks great. Real quick, let me check for, could you please help me understand how yields, bonds relate and correlate with inflation and other fundamentals? So for the most part, anything inflationary, you're looking at like commodities and things like that. So if we're going to see inflation increasing, which is what we've seen in the data, then you're going to see the yield increasing, right? We're going to see the yield increasing. Now, if the yield is increasing, it is very less likely, I think, in my opinion, for us to see like stuff like oil and things like that rip, right? Those high yields. So is the inflation play on right now? Well, you know, US oil is not really making that move yet. It could, right? So we haven't seen that. We haven't seen, and we have the yield up high to fight that. And that's key to understand. So right now, what you want to be paying attention to is mainly the fact that this is going to put a lot of things under pressure. This is them trying to fight those things to get down, right? But is the Fed doing this? No. Bond traders are. And then Bowdy, I see your donation. Thank you so much for the $2. I'll get into it in a moment. But how it really is this is not the Fed. So you'll see that the bond market is saying inflation is awful. We need the yields to go higher. That's all that matters here. That's why I explained over the weekend the correlation to mortgage rates, right? Mortgage rates right now, ever since the Fed started to cut, mortgage rates got worse. They got higher. And that's to fight the inflation. And you saw it come in the data. So usually if you're seeing these yields react up, even when we are cutting, that does mean we still have an inflation problem. This is why the Fed is in such a rough spot. The Fed is in a majorly rough spot. Now, you might be asking, how does this matter when it comes to the indices, when it comes to the SPY? And that's where you just pull up some charts and you go, hey, these yields have gone dramatically higher. Right here, right since, let's say, September. We've seen the yield go dramatically higher. And this is when the Fed cut rates for the first time, was actually September 18th, I believe. And then we started to go higher in the yields. So even though they cut, the yield goes higher. Very important. Because what has the market done? The market should not be liking this. Even IWM should not technically be at those all-time highs ever again with this yield reacting how it is. But you notice we did go to I think we went to all-time high for IWM. I have to look again. But now you're seeing it start to actually affect IWM. And that's the truth of the matter. And the only reason that it affected IWM, I believe, even more recently with the Jerome Powell speech, is because Powell reduced the amount of cutting. Right now, it's priced in that next year, we can only cut rates one time. One time. It was supposed to be 4. Now it's 1. A lot different, okay? They are stuck. They're stuck in a place where they cannot raise rates because they're going to cause an absolute, maybe global bank collapse, right? Or at least the national banks being like the, being like how France is right now. France cannot take out more money. They can't get loaned more money. They have an uncontrollable amount of interest payments. We have an uncontrollable amount of interest payments. And then other than that, you just want to go, okay, now what's the other side of that coin? Well, we have rising inflation. So the only thing that is going to solve all of our problems is a deflationary event. What is the thing that is potentially about to happen or already starting in France right now? Potentially, it could be worse than a recession. Was supposed to be 6 this year, only 3. Exactly. They're starting to diminish those, and that's because inflation's still going up. They're shouting how the economy is strong, but it's 3 times amount on debt. So that's a big problem. It's pretty much like if you had a credit card And then to pay for that credit card, you took out another credit card. To pay for that credit card, you took out another credit card, and you kept doing that for 75, 80 years, maybe longer, right? 80 years. And no one ever asked for you to pay anything. Everyone was just like, yeah, we'll just keep giving you more. We're going to raise the ceiling on your limit. We're going to raise your limit. We're going to raise your limit. We're going to raise your limit infinitely. Eventually, that will break things down because it never trickles down to wages to actual people. And that's the big problem in my head. By then, you're dead. Yeah. So we'll see how it plays out, but how it should be is if we go through a deflationary event, just so you are aware, then most things should deflate. We should see things go down. This is why people say, oh, in a crash, gold is a safe haven, Bitcoin could be a safe haven, this is a safe haven, this. All right, then just go look at charts back into 2008 and show me what was the safe haven for a long period of time. If you deflate, then assets will deflate across the board. Now, this is where there's potential for dividend stocks, right? The safety plays. A lot of those dividend stocks can actually recover. Yeah, sorry if I jump around a lot. My ADHD doesn't help me in explaining things on the fly like that. Maybe we could go into it more on a Saturday with some signals and stuff. That usually gets my brain more on topic. But for the most part, you just want to be like, all right, we're probably going to experience a deflationary event. What is a deflationary event? It's a recession. And he just said there isn't one. And that's why I put out that video very seriously on Saturday saying, well, if there isn't one, then why is the housing? Go look right now. Go look right now at the prices, whether they are raising or dropping in the housing market in the big cities, in Texas, in Florida. In Texas and Florida. Yeah, well, it will sporadically go up. But eventually it will come down. And that's the whole thing there. It's just not going to happen. It's just going to end up coming down. Maybe not this time, Ben. Maybe we'll get a little difference there. And like I said, I got to look at it very like, I got to be like, this is what I need to look at. Let me get to Bowdy's thing, okay? Bowdy's been waiting very patiently. I appreciate it, Bowdy. This is, yeah, see, like Walgreens, this is where dividend stocks can have their day, right? Noticing some weekly divergence, monthly scale. But we'll see. This is an absolute class, but this is what I'm talking about with dividend stocks. Usually in these times, you start to look for dividends. For long term, what do I see? If Tesla's not safe, from what I think is coming, and the important part is if we don't bail out people. If we don't bail out people, I actually believe Ford could be a potentially good thing right now. We'll see. I haven't looked at the stock, but there were some other things that I was looking at for my dad as far as Ford goes, because he likes Ford. But these type of stocks are what you want to be paying attention to. So I really appreciate you bringing it up, because if these show monthly curl ups, what does that mean? It means it's potentially a good thing for months to come, right? Now, the first time, that didn't play out very well, right? But you made some dividend money in there. You got some little stuff. And then you go, okay, oh, maybe this is potential to cross up again. Okay, now it's not a good time to invest. But look at this price point. Now, you want to research the stock. You want to be, this is when you do want to get into fundamentals of a stock. You want to make sure you're buying something that has a plan for longevity. So you really want to dig into some fundamentals here, because this could go all the way back down to $6 still, right? And makes sense. But I do want to show off there is a divergence on the MACD, not on the RSI. So if that monthly curls up, hey, this could be one that I would want to invest in, and I can make dividend money and make sure that the fundamentals look okay. Does that make sense? Now, as far as the shorter time frames, we can go into those, right? We can go into those. It's just not going to be too helpful. It's really not. You more want to look at this stock from an investment perspective, if that makes sense. Hey, Reed, thank you so much for subscribing. And hey, this is because you guys are liking the video. I know I told you guys, I want to get to 10K by Christmas. We've only had this channel for, what, since last August of 2023. And that's all because of you guys. This is why it's as big as today, and this is just why I really appreciate you guys being a part of this channel. You guys are great about liking these videos, and it really helps out the channel, which is awesome. It means we can get more retail people to understand how to really utilize these indicators. Once again, looking at something like Ford, maybe I just want to look at a monthly, maybe I want to look at a weekly and things like that, but you see how tight it is. And this is very important. This is very, very tight, which is good, and we want to see what's going to happen with this. Let's see if this is able to curl up and say, yes, I am a good investment. That's the main thing with Ford, but dividend stocks are more something I could pay attention to. All right, let me get back over to the SPY, guys. We got to be paying attention to this. It's 10:30. I'm trying to go a little bit longer. It's Christmas time. I want to give you guys a ton of info while we're live. We have a day off, right? So we're paying attention to IWM. We're paying attention to the SPY. We're paying attention to the Qs. We're just seeing if they can make those higher lows. Right now, if the 15-minute would curl up, it would suggest that that is happening. If we curl down briefly, that's when you want to be a little careful. If the dollar goes up in value, I would assume that the euro goes down in value, but I haven't looked into that in a long time, Mark. So I don't want to say something where I haven't looked into it. I don't like to do that. So these are great questions. It's just, I like to look into things and how they behave with those type of questions before saying that. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can find something. Yeah, okay, so that's moving. Okay. Let's do this one. This one's pretty trusted. Yeah, okay. That is a terrible one to look at. Looks like strength there too. I wonder if they'll experience strength too, though. Like, because the question is, once you get into other currencies, the question would be, what are their markets going through? And I just haven't looked at their markets enough. What is their budget looking like, right? You want to look at those kinds of things. What are their yields looking like? All that type of stuff. So I just haven't looked into that enough. I try to just pay attention to what everyone likes to pay attention to here in America. But if it becomes important, we can look at it. Sorry, I was just looking over at Tesla, see if it's going to confirm a signal here. Still want to be aware of how this thing could fall. I have not crossed up on the 15 here for the SPY yet. All right, I think I went over the time, maybe too much here. I might have to, we have a lot of stuff going on for Xmas. Whenever someone says Xmas, I always think it's like Christmas with your ex. And that sounds awful. Kind of move like you said. Let me see AMC. Yeah, so now we're looking at that 30-minute if that's crossing. Okay, awesome. I want to be aware that, hey, maybe I have a weekly expected move down in this area. Maybe we react down to this, then we do that. That's what I'm going to look for from AMC. I think that would be the first thing that could then tip over the 2 hour, right? We talked about how these things like to move. They like to come down for the double dip, take out the stops, take out the stops. Everyone thinks it's dead. Then it just gets a simple curl up. That simple curl up leads to a 2 hour crossing. That 2 hour crossing leads to a daily crossing, and you have divergence behind every single one. So I really like it. Path hit major support at 1249 recently and has been bouncing off it. Is it Kathy Woodstock? It is a Kathy Woodstock. What do you think? Path? Oh, Path. Oh, Path. We know when Kathy Wood bought this. All right. We know when Kathy Wood bought this. All right. So she really wants this thing to go up. Kathy Wood bought here, right? She bought here, what, $18, $19? What could this be doing? I mean, as of right now, you don't have reversal signals on the daily. So the simple thing I can do is just say, hey, if we're going to retake this 200, probably got to cross up on the daily. Now, I assume Kathy is, you know, getting a better price. She's averaging, right? But what we want to see is just if that daily crosses up, hey, that's the opportunity to take back the 200. Am I going to have signals in here to tell me that? Well, it would be on a 2 hour if it's there. It's not there yet, so you have some time here where this could keep moving sideways, drop back down. You want to see a strong base, but I can also pay attention to the swing trade in case that V shapes in some way, then crosses up on a daily, and I can say, okay, this has good potential. Let me just manage risk like a swing trade. Whoa, DJT back to positive. 2 hour curl up? Okay. Wow, we're not gonna really play out these divergences fully. Yeah, even the daily crossing down for the lower high. So very interesting from DJT. SoFi, I really would have liked this, but SoFi, 15-minute, crossing up. We're starting to see some little things start to move here. IWM, still want to watch that. That's looking lackluster compared to everything else. January 20th is a huge day for GJT. Be careful around days that market makers are aware of, okay? With those kinds of stocks. Oh, and chase it. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you so much for subscribing. But we see here, it's just with that, you have with things like AMC, GME, anything that you believe has a big short seller problem, DJT does. You'd want to pay attention to also the times when they will be paying attention and note that they know that event might be big. It could mean you get the opposite reaction during those weeks. That's why we pay attention to earnings a lot of the time and just say, hey, they know that E is on the screen. Let's actually look at GME before I hop off here. 30-minute, good. 2 hour, trying its best, man. Didn't do it on the last bar, so you got 2 hours left in this one. Daily, nothing yet. So we're looking for that daily curl up still. FFIE went up 20% in the pre-market, now negative. Bummer. BlackBerry, let's go check on BlackBerry. That was pretty cool. Great move, great move, great move, great move. I think eventually this is going to stop. Now, you look for this, though. Where's the opportunities? Where are the opportunities? Well, it's when you get that 30-minute down by the center line. Notice you cross up a few times in here. Potential for maybe a little divergence right there on a 15-minute to help you out, but you crossed up right here. A little bit weak, big gap up there. But this one curled down to the 5, pops up. So what am I looking for? Well, if it goes down to the 5 and pops up, that's more what I'd be looking for a short-term play. I don't see big reversals here even for a 30-minute, so I think it's likely to see something like this. Would be nice. Xena just doesn't have enough price action. I'm just going to let you know. Like, if I look at this on a 30-minute, look how wonky that is. That's why I stay away from a lot of these. Kind of wonky like this one. Just some big peaks. I get what you're trying to do. I get it. When's the actual opportunity? Probably if the daily can pull back. It's just not enough price action for me to do a ton. That's why I feel bad saying that, but that's the truth. I can't tell you what to do. You know, if you want to learn how to buy and sell and things like that for Xena and things like that, you can still make weekly ranges, and that will really help you. You bought at 570. What's it at? Well, the question I like to ask, one, you do see this. You're actually seeing some weird stuff here, right? We're seeing some weird stuff here. So it's interesting. If that 30-minute can curl up, maybe it catches one more move. But it's kind of like, what was your goal with the trade, Lucas? And thank you for subscribing. But what was the goal with the trade? And I talked about this a lot with someone in the last like a month ago. And they were like, I made enough money. Now I'm going to take it out and I'm going to go do this. And I go, oh, okay, awesome. He's like, but I'm also thinking about doing a Tesla play with that money that I made. And I go, well, but you can already buy the thing you want to buy. Or I think it was Tesla. Maybe it was Amazon. Maybe it was Amazon. I think it was Amazon. And they were like, yeah, Amazon went to higher levels. So I was going to sell that. And then I was thinking about flipping it into something else. And I go, okay, well, what's the goal with the trade? Well, because I have enough money for this, but if I have double the amount of money, then I can buy something a little bit better or something like that. And I was like, okay, cool. They were just trying to buy a product, like use their, you know, you make profit, you take it into your account, you can, you know, it's just like paying yourself, your check. And I was like, oh, that's great. So what's the goal? Okay, the goal is this. Well, over the next week, he did that. He doubled. He actually more than doubled that money. with his play. And I was like, hey, that's fantastic. You're paying attention to the right stuff. And then he just goes, okay, but what do I do now? And then I'm just like, what do you mean, what do you do now? I'm like, I can't tell you what to do with your money, but also, what was the goal with the trade? It was to double your money, right? You over doubled it. So what's the real goal with the trade here now? Now that you've seen it go up, are your emotions getting at you a little bit? So I would suggest the same thing to you. What's the goal with the trade? If your goal was to make a certain amount, can you pull out that amount right now and then let the rest ride? You know what I mean? That's a lot of things that you have to deal with on a personal level. Yeah. So if your goal was, I want to hold this to 7 and now it's above 7, well, then technically you could hold some more stock and still sell whatever amount you can with 7. So that's great. But yeah, guys, I do have to hop off. So I do appreciate you guys joining today. Really appreciate it. I think we had a good crowd and that's awesome. Continue to like these videos because we can get more people learning about technical analysis and not paying attention to the people out there who are, for whatever reason, people out there saying that we've avoided recession, because truly we've done the opposite. And I highly encourage you to go do research on France and even Germany right now, because both of those countries are showing a little bit first, and then do some analysis into our housing market. All right, I highly encourage you look up. I'll tell you guys someone you need to watch. There's very good, very good channel on YouTube, guys. If you want quick little info about the housing market, I watch him maybe once every couple of months or once a month. Let me see what it is. I think it's, oh shoot, I just watched this video. See if one of his videos pops up when I type this. Damn it. Let me look at my history here. So I want to show it to you because I think it's a great channel. Come on, I'll find it. There he is. There it is. It's Reventure Consulting. Okay, guys, if you go to this channel, I'm just going to show it to you guys right here. This is a great channel. He actually goes into housing markets and things like that, and doesn't only, kind of like in The Big Short, the people, they would go on the ground and see what's happening, and he explained what was going on in the housing market, what was going on with home builders, right? If you want to look at XHB. But it's a great channel, and he kind of explains, and it goes actually into neighborhoods where home builders are working and shows you what they're doing right now, and you'll see that they're not working at all. They're starting to just say like, hey, let's sell this and see if a personal person will finish it. So great channel if you're looking for some housing info. He even has an app that is fantastic, and it'll give you some great data, and you can actually see how a lot of markets like Texas and Florida and things like that are turning. So when I do mention, hey, this type of market is suffering in the housing market, right? Texas, California, New York, or something like that, I'm usually looking at that app, and it's very good. I really like it. It can help you out a lot as well if you're just someone who's trying to buy a house. So I just wanted to show you guys that today. I think that's a lot of fun. Don't say meet Kevin. I will never say meet Kevin. I am no fan. Am I going live tomorrow? Yes, I will be live on Christmas Eve in the morning, guys. We will be here live tomorrow morning. On Wednesday, we will not be here live because obviously Christmas. Thursday and Friday, yeah, both of those. That guy that walks around. Yeah, but if you actually pay attention to what he says, digest what he says, and actually go into the app that he has, you can do your own research, which is something I like to do. Very sexist. But yeah, guys, I will be live every single day that the market is open this week, all right? Every single morning that the market is open, I will be live, and I'm thinking about going live a little bit even longer than this on Friday, so make sure you're subscribed, and thank you guys so much for being here. Eagle405, Irfan, thank you for subscribing. All right, guys, peace out, good luck. Make sure this. At the end of the day, all we need to pay attention to are the signals. If we trust them and we see things proving themselves, we can make a decision, and then we always give ourselves that 1% chance that we're wrong. That way we are managing risk correctly. So thank you guys for showing up today. Thank you guys for liking and subscribing. You guys have been fantastic. Merry effing Christmas, and I'll see you guys on Christmas Eve tomorrow. Maybe we'll even turn the camera on and have some fun. All right, guys, peace out. Have a great day. Talk to you guys later. Oh yeah, and I will be putting out a YouTube video tonight. Don't you worry. I'll get you guys some daily expected moves for tomorrow. Peace out, guys. And the Christmas course sale should be up, just so you are aware. If you want to learn any of this stuff, learn how to trade around these indicators, the full technical analysis course down in the description. I'm gonna go get another cup of coffee. I got a day ahead of me before this Christmas starts. GG's. 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 See you guys. No, Reese. I like to leave it on for a little bit to give you guys the opportunity to chat back and forth. And then I gotta go say hi to my baby girl. But now we're closing it down, guys. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you guys in a little bit on YouTube later tonight. I scared you, huh? Yeah. Looks like that signal's playing out, though.